I'm gonna go upstairs because I got my kids.
Alright, cool. Alright, we're live. Everybody, welcome back to a long-awaited Knuckles Family Friend podcast. We're talking about not say politics, pop culture, where it's like video games, anime, comics, all that good stuff. And it's been a hot minute since we talked everything Marvel on this podcast. It's been a hot minute. Last time we talked about Marvel on this platform, I want to say it was She-Hulk. So that was almost 2 years ago in 2022. Fast forward to 2024 with the revival of X-Men 97. I think now is a perfect chance, to bring up this podcast, talk about Marvel, because it's been a hot minute. And I feel as though X-Men 97 is the start of our revival. Just like X-Men is revived, we're being revived right now on this podcast right now. So I am really excited to talk about X-Men 97 with my guys, Reese and Ant. Now, obviously, we see Eric's here, Rachel's here, but unfortunately, they cannot be here today. Now, we're going to try to talk about these episode recaps every week. Now, it might not be the same cast, but like at least we're kind of be consistent. But hopefully, one of these episodes we're gonna have the full cast in here. So hopefully we can do that. I'm really hoping we can do that. Well, as I said earlier before, we're going to talk about, X-Men 97. And I want to ask Reese about this question. Now, obviously, we all love, the original X-Men 92 animated series. Saturday mornings, that was the time to be alive right there. We have Fox Kids, Kids WB. Like, those are some good times. I know we sound old right now, but, like, I'm telling y'all miss out on some good times right there. But I want to ask Reese this question, right? As far as I remember, I think the X-Men animated series was the start for me to get into the whole superhero world genre. I know there were comic book characters first before the animated series came out, but to me, that animated series, got me into superheroes. From there, watching Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. I understand they're DC characters, but like I'm just saying the whole superhero world and genre. So my question is, I want to ask Reese, right? Now, I understand that you are a comic book head, so you're an OG. Would you say that the X-Men
Love it.
I love it. Well, I got some figures right there, but I can't see it right there. But I want to say this: Would you would you say that X-Men, the animated series, right? Would you say like that changed the game of superhero genres? And what I mean by that is that did that it bring people that have never read comics into the superhero world, or you say that was more on Batman? Because I know Batman and X-Men came over in the same year in '92, but I feel as though the X-Men animated series was just made that huge because it went from like video games, merchandise, toys. I feel as though that anime series introduced like non-comic book readers into possibly the superhero world. Now, would you say that show is, or would you say
No,
that?
it did. It did. It definitely did. So one of the things that I say it did, my mother used to watch that show with us. Like she would stop what she was doing and watch it, and she doesn't like anime, any of that stuff. But she was like, "Yo, this show was really good because of the undertones on what it represented." And there was a saying like me and Eric say it all the time. The first time I heard I rather live on my feet than I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees came from Magneto.
Bars.
That's a bar, and that got people. It was a show that transcended. It kind of told the story of Black people inadvertently, right? And I think my mom resonated with my mom and just people of older generations, and they got to see it fruition in that cartoon. And rather it being said, hey, it was a cartoon about people that can, put spikes from his hands and shoot lasers from his eyes and read your mind. And it got my mom, who's not into that, to watch it with us. And she would actively sit down, yo, X-Men about to come on. Y'all want to come downstairs? We're going to watch this. Saying so it brought the family together because it also had a adult understanding to it. So I would say yes. It transcended generations because right now, my younger son, who's 9 now, a year ago during the pandemic, 2 years ago during the pandemic, was like, "Hey, I want to watch this X-Men thing," and he watched it every single night. And when it came back on, guess who sat and watched it with me? He did.
That's what you call good parenting skills, right there.
That's all I got to say. It was amazing.
And would you say that too?
Yeah, I gotta chime in on that because Reese is right. Like, I mean, one of the fondest memories that I have with my pop is like me and him used to sit down on Saturday mornings and watch X-Men, like X-Men animated series. Like, it was just one of those shows that like I think that for the older like adults, like when we were kids, obviously, like back then, like we looked at it for obviously the mutants and their powers, and it's like kind of like it's a superhero kind of show in the sense of all the action and the different characters and their different characteristics. But for the adults, it's almost like the representation of people that are judged for being different, or people that are discriminated against just because they are different from others. And I think that the show had like a well played like undertone of like racial bias, and people that felt as though they feared mutants, right? And their fear caused them to act out against them, even though they want to help them, even though mutants not wasn't necessarily something that was a harmful thing, like other than having like uncontrolled powers. But it was like like if you I don't want to refer this to like obviously like black people or that kind of situation, but we always said that it's like we're not an aggressive, never used to have like an aggressive nature, right? Like we're loving people, but then yet you always looked at like you're different. So then you had like this thing where people, because they fear that, like they want to tear you down or make sure that you were not included. And so then with X-Men, it's just like with all the mutant powers and the things that were going on with the team, it's like the outside world or the politics of it, you were just like, damn, this is like super deep. So, so this being brought back, like X-Men 97, like to me is like super cool that, they kind of, that Marvel and Disney were just like, you know what, we tried all these other avenues of X-Men, like whether or not it was the movie or it was X-Men Evolution, these different forms of the X-Men cartoon, Wolverine and the X-Men. It's like, you know what? We need to bring this back.
That was good, by the way. X-Men Wolverine, that was actually good. Too bad I only had for one season though.
You know what? I like both of them. I like Wolverine, X-Men, and X-Men Evolution. Like,
it was good. That was a Nickelodeon drama, but it was dope.
Yeah, but the fact that they brought this style back and the characters and the costume, everything, like the whole feel of it, the intro, you're just like, oh my god, like for the kids now, they're just like, oh, this is cool, but for us, it's like, man, it's taking me back.
Yeah.
like so. I mean, I watched these 2 episodes, I think 3 times, like because I was just like, man, like, because there was so much in each episode, and there was so much like you just like, wow, like the way that they kind of recreated it is like pretty amazing,
There's one thing I'm upset about. Keep saying that Professor X is dead. I get upset about that because he's not.
We'll get into we're gonna get into that. I think for me, like I said, when I was a kid, I loved watching the X-Men every morning. Now, here's the thing for me. I was a kid, so my brain wasn't fully developed, right? I just saw these people with like these cool abilities and whatnot, right? I did understand the tone of how they were mutants. Three of them, right? What was that? I heard something in the background right there. I don't know what that was, but anyway, it's like I started liking them more as I got older. Because, like I said, when I was younger, my brain wasn't fully developed. I didn't really know, that they were hated throughout society. Because I just saw characters with these amazing powers, right? But as I got older, I'm like, oh, I understand why people hate them because they're different. Humanity sees them as freaks, Now I understand why Magneto is the way he is. Like I said, now granted, maybe there were some kids that understood the story, but for me, I'm just like, hey, I just see a bunch of action, some fights, yeah, it's cool, this and the third, it's all good, right? But as I got older, it's like, okay, now I fully understand why they are who they are, and that's why I said X-Men is my favorite superhero group. My favorite superhero is Spider-Man, but as a superhero group, it's always been the X-Men. Just fighting, to just believe, in quality and peace, And like I said, I don't want to say like Anthony said, I don't want to say too much how it relates to Black people, but it's like you have MLK as Professor, you have Malcolm X as Magneto, and like you understand both sides and why they're fighting, it's very very tough, but I still side more with X-Men because I don't want society to see me as these monsters as how Magneto's portrayed. Now I'm not saying Magneto's a monster, but it's like I get why he's doing what he's doing. I wouldn't fully go down. I wouldn't go down that route as to start a war with humanity, but like he's trying hard. Like Magneto's had, I mean, we're not gonna go through his bio, but like Magneto's had a hard life from when he was a young kid. So it's like he's seen death, he's seen war. So it's like I understand why he's going through this shit. So I just really like I said, I just want to put in my 2 cents right there. But we're gonna talk about episode 1 and 2 now. Obviously, well, not obviously. Reese hasn't seen episode 2, so we're gonna spoil it for him. But
y'all spoil it for me. Trust me. I love
we're gonna get.
Y'all can do whatever you want. Trust me.
Right. Well, we're gonna start episode 1, and before we start, I'm surprised, Anthony, you didn't hear about it until I mentioned it to you, because I'm like, yo, bro, you didn't hear about X-Men 97? Like this was a thing back there, because we all know that Marvel right now is not. Ever since Phase 3, Marvel has been, on a roller coaster ride. Now, I don't think it's as bad as people are saying it to be, but like it definitely hasn't hit the charm that it did, in phases 1 through 3, right? I think that maybe 2024 could be the year, to get Marvel. I'm not gonna say, back to like phase 1 through 3, but it's like, maybe, just maybe, get to like at a great decent level. Like I said, you're not gonna touch phase 1 through 3. That you can't recreate that. That's out the ballpark. But with X-Men and now you got Deadpool being out this year, this could be the year where it's like, you know what? Fuck the Disney characters. We're gonna bring the Fox heads. They're gonna return to our glory days right now. But yeah, I'm surprised you didn't hear about X-Men 97 when I told you about this.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I haven't really been keeping track, especially because like we said, like Disney Plus hasn't really put out like that many like superhero shows that have been like on my radar to be like I would need to watch that or I need to see that. So I think it's just been like one of those things where it's been on like the back burner, for a little while. But that's the thing about it, right? It's the word of mouth. Like, you found out about it and you told me, and I'm like, wow, I got to go watch it too. Like, you know what I mean? Like the fact that you had to send me the trailer too, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Text message. And then once I saw it, I was like, wow, like, you know what I mean? But I don't know. We here now. So they got my full attention again.
It's back. And like I said, we're gonna talk about episode 1 and 2. And obviously heading into the series. Were you guys nervous? Because like I said, this has been like 2-3 decades since we last time we seen this show. Like I'm sure there had to be some nerves heading into this show. And I was, because I'm like, yeah, I said, Marvel has not been doing great. This is, its first Fox Disney collaborator. So I'm like, I was nervous, but after watching the first episode, I'm like, okay, we got something right now, because the intro nostalgic. Like they kept obviously there's some differences in the intro, but like they still kept the same intro, same music. Obviously it's updated everything like that, but they kept it, like they kept what made us love that show right there. Obviously we saw Morph, and which I'm happy to see that Morph and like granted Morph was there in the nights, but like I think he's gonna be more a main character in this series than he was in the. Well, he kind of was. Was he? He was kind of like a main character, but not
He was at some point. Like they had a couple. They had an arc around him when anytime they had Mr. Sinister involved.
Yeah,
Mr. Sinister and did a lot of mental things to him. So Like if you
And they included that now inside the intro of the
They
show.
did. I like that. And we see Bishop too, so I really did like that. And a
man,
lot of
I need the dreads back, bro. I don't like the respect, man. Take them. Take them. You know what I'm saying? I need them back.
We
That
need
is
the
why
back.
they cut off his drizz.
That's
That is. That is. Yeah, it really is. And I wasn't trying to thought right there, but no, happy to see those two back. So let's dive right into it right now. You know, and they said the voice actors, not all of them. I mean, I think the original voice actor for Cyclops, he passed away, correct?
yes.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah. So most of the voice actors are back. Even the Wolverine voice actor, you can definitely hear the age of it in his voice, but you know that's still Wolverine right there. So I still loved it. So
Wolverine is spot
Oh,
on.
didn't even age, bro. She sounds just.
no, he not just like it, but I definitely hear like a bit of like some old.
No, you do. But I'm talking about Storm is flawless. Like she stole the shit. She
I
is.
mean,
That's
and her intro right there, I'm like that is Storm right there. The speech and everything. I'm like, y'all are doing this right now against these wannabe Mega Man motherfuckers with that fit looking like a Mega Man buster from Mega Man right there.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, Proto Man, bro, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm saying like
Now Reese, he hasn't seen episode 2, so he's gonna be a little upset.
oh yeah, he is.
Mm-hmm.
He might go from 0 to 100. We're talking about episode 2.
First, bro, I know she loses powers, bro. I know about that.
We'll get into that.
I was actually curious though. You had mentioned something about, I was like, because my favorite character is Gambit, always has been.
Oh, my favorite character in this is always Wolverine. So
okay,
but I love it because Gambit that bull.
I told Anthony.
Bull,
my
bro.
heart to go out to you right now. When he told me that he like gave, I'm like, my heart goes out to you, and we're right to see
why
right
you
there.
say that?
Gambit that bull, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, why you say good luck
to you?
Why?
Why?
Because we saw what happened. Like
oh, because he got his heart broken.
Yeah,
that's what made Gambit what he is.
But
Gambit's a lover. He's smooth, but he's a lover boy, and he all about road.
Yeah, his feeling hurt, and he keep moving, bro. He keep.
But I mean,
episode one.
But to answer your question though, like I was a little nervous, but I kind of knew that they probably were going to keep the same premise, but like just put some tweaks to it, enhance the colors, the way that they made it. But then I was nervous about like the storyline, but the storyline like was all on point. Now it did throw me a little bit the way they introduced like the show again, like with. Now I think the group is pretty interesting, this FOH group, right? But then the main premise of the beginning episode where they kidnapping Costa or whatever his name was, like I guess he's some kind of like,
Solar. Isn't his name Solar?
That's what I was trying to figure out because like he didn't like really introduce like his power. They showed it a little bit.
He showed it that he absorbs
sunlight.
So and he gets stronger with it.
So yeah, so my thing was like the reasons of why like that was the beginning of this show was them kidnapping him or taking him hostage.
I can explain why.
Okay.
If that's your question. So it is the effect of any show when they bring it back, right? When they bring a show back, what do? They use your nostalgia, right? And then they get the first episode that you've ever seen of that show and they retell it.
Jubilee.
And that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
What everybody, my kids just got to watch was the Night of the Sentinels over again. It was the first episode. All they did was use this new character as Jubilee in the first episode. And Jubilee now, full circle in her storyline, is now become the mentor.
Yeah.
So I like that. That's what made me see what they're doing. It's the same thing they did in the Star Wars movie. When they redid the Star movies, all they did was show us the first Star Wars over again. That's all they did. Like instead of having the big Death Star. They had the planet and shit.
Yeah.
So basically, they just retold the story to get everybody reintroduced into the storyline. I thought it was cool that they did it, and I like how they did it. But I don't want to, you know.
I mean, but they dove right into it, which I thought was cool. Like the way Cyclops jumped in there, the way like I feel like they're gonna do a good job with like the fighting and the combat in this show too, like the style of it.
So I'm still, if you want to know my understanding, I'm still kind of nervous on it, and I'll tell you why.
I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, so my nervousness is that they played it safe. I don't think they played it safe, but I like how they reintroduced everybody. I mean, I think they did a really good job with that. But I need to know the storyline on what they're doing after this episode 2 and 3. Like I said, I didn't see the second episode. I started it, and then my kids being children.
It don't get you locked in because that second episode got me wanting to see what's gonna happen in episode.
Shit goes down in the second episode.
I might have my opinion flip, but I'm not even gonna say it flip. I'm interested to see what's going on, but I'm not gonna say we're out of the how do I say it? Out of the eye of the storm yet. Like I'm still like, okay, this still could go left. You can give something like
it could,
or it could. But right now, I am pleasantly pleased and surprised on what they did. The only problem I have is that I don't like the animation. Everybody said they love the animation. To me, the animation is very Ventura, the Team Venture, the Venture Brother S.
Oh man!
It is because if anybody, I remember watching the damn animation from when it originally came out, and continue the animation from the last 5 episodes of the last season, where they had low budget and everything. And I did not like that. I thought they would have said, okay, the last 5 episodes was only happening because of the budget. Like nobody remembers that. Go back and watch any of the first 4 seasons, and then go back and watch this, and you'll be like, yo, it was low budget, but it definitely looked better. Now the fighting and the choreography, like when Cyclops came down and was moonwalking, loved it. Chef's kiss.
Using the blaster to slide across the floor.
Yeah.
So there's positives to it that I like more. Like I can look past it if I continue to get choreography and action like that. I look right past it. I don't care about it.
Maybe you should look past
it. I'm looking past it. I'm looking past it regardless. But for people out there saying if you're going to talk in pigeonhole the animation, the animation is so good. No, I'm going to disagree. But everything is still good enough to make me say, yeah, I'm going to watch this regardless.
Yeah. Because I think, go ahead.
No, I said I thought it was good. I think the difficult part was adapted to the times, but still kind of have that 90s nostalgic in that animation as well. I think that's the difficult part right there, where it's like you don't want it to be too new, but you want to still bring in that same flavor that the original had. And I thought they did a good job with that. Now, obviously, we're gonna have our own opinion and shit like that. But like I said, I definitely respect Maurice's opinion, because he's the OG. I like this generation now. I still show appreciation to the OG. So it's like, I am gonna rewatch, some of the episodes of seasons 1 through 4, because I'm gonna take a take on that. And obviously, season 5, there was different animation. Obviously, in season 5, we all know that. But
they ran out of money. They ran out of like a ton of money. You could tell. Like it was like I woke up one morning and was like, "Yo, what is this? Hold up, excuse me. Like what's going on? Like what's going on?" But it was ending, so can't really get mad about that.
Yeah, and just to kind of reiterate kind of what I was talking about earlier, like I don't want to make this too like racy. Like obviously the demographic of being that it's just catered towards like Black people. I'm not trying to say that, because there's a lot of people like minority groups that it's supposed to represent. What I was trying to base off is like the actual people that created it, right, made the X-Men the way it was, because that's the time period that they created it. It was a lot of divide and a lot of hate groups, and people that was looked at as different.
Stan Lee is even going on record saying that he modeled the two after Martin Luther King and
Yeah.
Malcolm X. So we can't say it's not. It doesn't survive from those. When he said that, and this is when he was making the comic. He didn't believe that that people would accept him, so he made it as such. So you got to give it due on the. I mean, that's where it kind of was. It was the civil rights movement, but it also goes into anybody. That's why the X-Men are so beloved, because it is it is basically it is a mirror of a generation that is not how do I want to say this, not understand it, that people hate because they don't want to understand, whether it be the LGBT, whether it be people of minority, whether it be the Arab countries, whether it be somebody of a minority group that is hated upon because people don't have enough information about them. It shows in their struggles. That's the reason why X-Men does so well against all demographics, because somebody in any demographic sees themselves.
Can relate.
They really.
I think it's
That's
and it's like I said, it's so hard not to make this a racing. I just feel as though a lot of black people can just relate, or not just like anything that's just different. It's not in the white demographic. And he's like, I love my white people. Don't be wrong, but it's like, and I'm not saying that X-Men's not for y'all, but it's like for us still in 20, for which once again, episode 2 remind me of some things that have been happening recently, which we'll get into that later. But like, I like how we're talking about X-Men, but here we go. Reese just said, like, I got this.
I had to move about the fall.
Okay.
So
Like the advertisement of everything.
No, I got this. We're gonna ever talk about like we're gonna talk about some showing off and shit like that. I got this.
In the center.
that's not. I need that, bro.
Yeah, we talk about that, you know.
Mhm.
It's really my 90s section right here. You know what I'm saying? So they want to show off and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they want to show off and shit. But you know, it's just
Off, man. I had this on my desk and it was going to fall, so I apologize, brother.
it's all good. You can show. I don't mind showing. I mean, we got Ant's artwork in the background right there too. I mean, show off right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but just to pull it back, but it's just kind of like, I think the thing with Stan Lee that was so beautiful about Stan Lee and creating the X-Men was he could have made this like whole X-Men group, the mutants, be obviously minority groups, right? But no, what he did was he was like, no, I'm gonna put a blend of everything. People that look like animals, like Beast, people that were white, or people that may look Spanish, or people that, like, he made the group or made the mutants diverse. So what it causes was for people to kind of look at it to be like, wow, like they look like me, but then yet they're hated upon, right? So for me, like right now is like the perfect time that this show is like resurging itself, because right now is a time period where there is a lot of divide, right? Where people need to kind of start looking inward and trying to say like, hey, like I can relate to you as well. Like we have all these opinions on who this and that, and I believe in this and I believe in that, but people aren't able to come together and think on one accord and say, okay, I relate to you in this way, right? So this show is that kind of representation, and I love the X-Men for that. Like it's between the two. Aurel, you said like this is one of your favorites. It's between this and Watchmen for me. Like I literally have like the tattoo like on my hand, like because of the realness of those comics. Like, you know, as far as I know, people like they want to watch shows because it's just, oh, it's just a bunch of heroes, you know, flying around or superpowers, and that's all I want to see. But I like things that are relatable to what's going on currently.
Absolutely.
And I think this one is the most current because it's actually talking about real shit that's going on today. If you think about this FOH group, Friends of Humanity, which to me I also read as fuck out of here. Like
that's I said too.
Like that for years, yo. The FOH was back then, so
that is like, to me, I'm like, yo, that's kind of brilliant, bro. Like this group is just like, yo, fuck out of here, mutants. Like, we don't like you. I don't want your existence. You're going to tear down everything that is good about this world and this country. You know what I mean? And like, to me, that's the same representation with like some of like the groups that we have out there, these extremist groups and things that of that nature that you know, they don't want to see change, or they don't want to see people on a
And
balance.
of humanity.
Hmm. So to me, like that, this group, and then even the guy that's in charge of it was Oliver Trask, and you know,
It's good to see him back. I was going to say, like, they did a lot of Easter eggs in this first episode. You know, I like when we saw the first class photo right there. That was nostalgia right there. But listen, the characters in the show, they were saying like Storm was the same, Gan was the same, Rogue with her fine ass still talking to Southern Belle, saying all those those southern things and all that, whatever. Like Jubilee. Like I said, the first scene was Storm. That speech right there, that was tremendous right there. Jean being pregnant, Morph being, you know, this silly motherfucker right there. Like they kept the core characters. They kept like they didn't change them. They were still the same.
They like everybody did not like you didn't get a new version of them, right?
No.
Is an asshole. And when Morph turned at the John was fucking with Wolverine, I was like, here we go. That's the Morph I already fucking know.
Exactly.
The Morph that's the Morph I know.
Bro,
And
my bad.
like, yeah, that's the Morph I fucking know. Be a jerk. And that's like I was like, yo, that click right then and there. I was like, yo, this show is going to be good because they did not change. They didn't rewrite the wheel. They said, yo, these are the characters. They're already beholden to what they were. We don't need to change nothing. Just reintroduce them as they are.
And they still had, you know, they still the little beat between Cyclops and Wolverine, but you don't tell me what to do. Like that's Stuart. I'm like, yo, yeah, you're the teammate, but you don't tell me what to do. I do everything what I want to do.
What the fuck I want? I've been doing what the fuck I want since I've been here.
Yeah.
First episode,
you don't understand.
The first episode I turned your car into a convertible. I would do the
Yeah, he did. But I mean, Cyclops is definitely being a bit more sure because the professor is gone. So it's like I gotta watch over the team now. But you know, they have a baby on the way, and what the hell do we do? Because it's like I don't want to leave this. We were his first students.
I'm reading all into this. Yo, to me, there's something in the works with this pregnancy. Jean, I'm already seeing it. She's fishy right now.
Well, if you know the storyline, you already kind of know.
Well, no.
So this is the God.
You got to give the perspective of somebody that's just like
a story. You kind of know.
That's what I'm saying. Like you're the comic book expert, right? So I'm here to give the perspective of somebody that didn't read all the comics or know the storyline in that regards, right? You too, or Knuckles.
I'm glad you picked up on it though. So that
but I like to do one of these, like where it gives that in-depth conversation of like I like the fact that they kind of hint at it, even as a cartoon. The way she keeps talking about, like, you know, maybe time for us to go, like with the kid. And it's like this push out of Cyclops, like you can't lead this team. And then you get Magneto all of a sudden pops in. And then Magneto has like this life-changing like moment where he's like all about
wait, not to cut you off, Anthony. Like I don't want to that's kind of get into episode 2, but like basically episode 1 was just basically, you know,
you just want to do episode 1?
Well, we're gonna do episode 2 too, but I feel it's still like I just want to touch base on our audience that basically episode 1 was like, you know, life about Professor Xavier and stuff like that. What the hell do you do? But I do want to say that fight scene that they did against the trash, like that was great. Like that was a very, very good fight scene, especially when you had like Gambit using his powers on Wolverine, and then you know the more turning into blah. Like the one thing about the X-Men that I really love, and now obviously Reese is a comic book nerd, so like you can correct me if I'm wrong about this. I feel in terms of like team, they have the best chemistry. They all they train in the danger room. They know how to do. They know how to do teamwork, team chemistry. Like they know they're. You guys know what I'm saying right there. Like they know like what to do when it comes to using their team abilities.
4 different teams. So like everybody is on 4 different teams. Like a lot of people don't know that like there's like 2 different X-Men too. So at one point there was X-Men Blue and X-Men Yellow. There was also, and they were working at the same time under the same X-Men. And then they have an X-Men Black where Deadpool's on there, Wolverine, Psylocke, and also Magic is on it. So they have a lot of different X-Men working all the things.
We need that show.
Which one?
We need that show or that movie to be created.
What?
X-Men Black.
X-Men Black? Oh no, it's dark.
It's pretty.
Oh no, yeah, we need that.
So it's basically a version, like, just so you know, Cyclops is still in charge, but he sends them out on groups on things that the X-Men can't really be known for. So if somebody need to get murdered, yeah, that's
Yo,
them out for.
Deadpool.
Wolverine. There was a
and Magic.
Angel.
But just those four. Oh my.
And that storyline, like one of the storylines, they had to go get so Apocalypse gets reborn, and their whole thing is that they have to either go save Apocalypse as a kid or kill him. And Wolverine was not about that. He said, "Yo, let's murder this dude right now."
Exactly.
Wolverine's like, "Yo, you know the shit he does. Let's go kill him." So like,
I want to talk about episode 2 so bad right now.
Okay, let's get into it. Because episode 1 was just basically, stopping trash because they were wondering how did these guys get their weapons and whatnot. So and then episode 1 ends with Magneto.
So I have a. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, basically episode 1 ends with Magneto say, "Hey, I'm in head charge right now. Xavier left everything to me." So so we get episode 2. So what's your question?
Yeah, my question is: did anybody see the last episode of the original show? Remember it?
I remember that I was watching clips that obviously Professor was dying, and Magneto was getting ready to lead his army to fight humanity, but Jean, Cyclops, and Wolverine told him that Charles is dying, so he goes over to visit Xavier, for his last words. But I forgot the beginning part of that though, unless I missed anything right there.
So the Shi'ar, so in that episode, the Shi'ar Empire comes.
Yes.
And she takes him, so he doesn't die.
He doesn't die. He does not die. No.
He goes and he's like, yo, he's not going to be able to live on the Earth because y'all don't have the technology to have him stay alive. So
by the way, Reese, before you say that, Professor Xavier did say some nice poetic words in to each X-Men, by the way. Those are every person he talked about, great words. I just want to say that.
Yeah. So he tells everybody how but then he goes and leaves. But it's already established that Magneto ends up being the new leader of the X-Men in that last episode.
Yes.
That last episode. So that's the only thing is that I don't know how they're doing it. I'm glad they did it that way. But when it comes to if you want to be if I want to be a nitpicker, I want to pick, be drawn, as I would say, is okay, why didn't they continue with that? But I like the way they're doing it now, where he finds the last will and testament that he leaves everything to him. He kind of did it in the last episode, but I think this episode wouldn't have worked as a reintroduction if they did it that way. So I understand why they did it this way.
But I like it too, because like you said, you as as far as watching that last episode and being somebody that loves reading the comics, for me it's it's a resurgence of okay, they give you the narrative that okay, their leader has died and the person that has killed him is the leader of this extreme hate group, right? And then so the thing that stuck out to me too is in that episode was when Cyclops is interviewing him. Was it Henry Gyrick? Is that
Gyrick?
And the thing that stood out to me was when he starts talking in his speech, and then he says, "Tolerance is extinction," right? Because he talked about people tolerating certain individuals in the society and tolerating the mutants, but then that means extinction for my people. I was like, bro, that is a heavy quote.
From how X-Men has always been. It is
that's what I'm saying. It'll go over your head if you're a child, but as an adult, you're like, wow, he's saying a lot. Right? Bars. So to me, that gives you, amped up as far as what the show will be and what's going to happen, especially with Cyclops, because he's trying to figure everything out. right? He's trying to figure out how he's gonna leave, but then he has his wifey about to have his kid saying, "Hey, we should leave." So he's in a situation, and then he got Wolverine over here saying, "Hey, bro, I don't like you. You're an asshole." Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I'll follow you. You
Dark
know?
for Cyclops, I believe, at least in this rendition, because I think Cyclops is going to be very torn in different aspects, and because him as a leader is different as a leader under Xavier, like very different.
Yeah. And that's why I said, like, with this first episode, especially with like the fighting scene, like at the end where, like you said, or like it's, you know, showing that teamwork, even though like they were dysfunctional at the beginning of it. It's like, all right, we need to go find this area. We find the area. Okay, the Sentinel's attacking us. Okay, we found a location. And it's like, you're like, all right, they're falling from the sky, and they handle it like, you know, no problem.
Look, if anything, Master Mold, the first time they fought him was a problem. This one, they one shot.
Give him the forecast. Give him the forecast first, and then Wolverine.
Again, that's why I say, yo, my girl, bro, Storm. A lot of people don't understand. She ends up being a leader.
You don't know.
Yo, she. Woo.
That's what I love, that they showed between Magneto right now and Storm, the Omega like power level.
They're both Omega level.
Yeah,
they're both.
Sando just said Omega. Sando is like Omega mutant, like detected. Like they know Storm ain't the one to fuck with.
Yeah, but the fact that they're able to show that in the show, like, and you're like, damn.
And people fail to realize that Professor X is not an Omega. He's only an Alpha. He's an Alpha Omega level, Alpha level mutant.
Like the fact they show like the different like capabilities of Magneto, and that goes into episode 2. But yeah, I just like even that, like just the ending scene where Gambit gets on the back of Wolverine.
Oh,
he lights his, not like, come on, like,
charged up his blade and taught, and then he what's the name? Morph turns into the blob,
lobs him up, and then he slices the neck off, because it's a traditional, because, you know, Wolverine was always a savage when it comes to the Sentinels. So for him to do the last kill, like to slice off his neck, was like chef's kiss.
One of my favorite episodes is when Cyclops and Jean Grey was getting married, and they were like, "Where is Wolverine?" And he's in the danger room with everything on fucking 10, and he's fighting a fucking shitload of Sentinels. He's in there murdering everybody.
He's pissed off.
Pissed off on everybody. One of my favorite episodes.
And you still see that in this show too. You still see that. You still see it, man. Why you with that woman, yo? Why it should have been me. It should have been me.
Y'all did Yugi Moto. It should have been
me. So let's get into episode 2, because you know that was the episode everyone was talking about. Really, it's episode 2. Magneto is on some, you know, redemption story, and I like it. The start of the episode 2, but like we have the Warlocks. You know, like I recently seen episode, but like the Warlocks. Even Durham was being taken over by the FOH. Fuck out of here, group. They're being taken, and like, you know, even Magneto with his speech and everything. Like, the introduction. No, he first saved the kid and the fireman from off that road, off that Ferris wheel, and then he went down to save those mutants from those FOH group. And you know, Magneto just doing his thing right there, just speech, humans, your Homo sapiens, all that type of. He didn't say that, but like, I wish he would have said that though, honestly, because you know, he feels about humanity and shit like that. But obviously, the X-Men are like, "Yo, bro, like, we fought you all these years. Now all of a sudden, you should be, you know, our leader." Like, and, you know, sometimes it's like, did X Professor not trust me right now? Because why is Magneto here right now? Like, but I respect Magneto, where it's like, you know, even though I was at war with Charles, he's the only person that I truly respected and love. Like, you know, the friendship is still there. Like, Magneto has tremendous, and I mean tremendous respect for Charles Xavier. So like,
He was a friend. He never
yeah,
once. He always, when he greeted him, he said, "Hello, my old friend." Always in the show, my old friend, and he would never do, especially when we went to the Savage Land. They risked each other's lives for each other when they went to the Savage Land, and they lost their power. So
Yeah.
there you go. See, I told you, I watched that show. I didn't even have to watch it recently. I remember all this. So
there's a lot of episodes in there too.
It was. It's a masterpiece though.
Long as hell.
They are. I do want to rewatch them again though.
Yeah, I'm probably going to as well.
I'm gonna have to too. But
there was just so many storylines in the show, like because each episode wasn't like they would cut out certain members. Like it was certain episodes that were just strictly certain members of the team. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
Remember when Wolverine was going on his little journey where he went to the Eskimo people?
Yeah, I remember he was starting with Sabretooth and everything.
And then he had plenty of episodes where he fought Lady Deathstrike and when he had to fight Omega Red is one of my favorite episodes. I just want them to bring back like that to, the political stuff and how we can unite the world through this cartoon, like it's good, man.
Now there are some inconsistencies a little bit with the show though, because going back to episode 1, when Cyclops goes into that warehouse, we just got to talk about it. When they take off his glasses and they think they got him beat, and he was like fooled you, and he opens up his eyes, and the whole place is pretty much blown up. How they still alive?
That's what I'm saying. Like they didn't show any of that. Like.
They have, so they're concussive blasts. They're not actually lasers, and so a lot of people, they're not lasers. So a lot of people think they're lasers, and even the fact that he showed them when they pulled them out, he cut the Sentinel in half. Yeah, it's concussive blast. So the glasses allow him to
control
them and have the beam like as small as a laser to cut. But when he takes the glasses off, it's at full blast, so it's concussive. So it's not, it's like a shotgun.
You can't control it.
So he can't control how much force. So the force is just one big blast, but it's not as powerful. You see what I'm saying?
By Reese. So now we understand that. So
bars.
So Cyclops' eye blast is not a laser. It is literally a concussion.
So they in the comic they said it's I think it's stupid, but they did it in the comic. They reconned it and said that his eyes are portals to another universe that has endless amount of energies that come out as concussive blast. It was the dumbest shit. When I heard it, when I saw it, I was like, no, I like the original. They're fucking late.
You're doing too much right now at that point.
No, we're doing too much, but I mean, you know how people, somebody wanted to keep their job, so they was like, yo, I'm gonna do some crazy shit so that if they cancel my book, I'm not gonna be able to. They gonna have to fix this. So
they do. But in episode 2, like so back on track with episode 2, Magneto's the new leader, or he says, or shit like that. But what's the lady's name again that Cyclops was talking to? That was on her treadmill. What's her name again?
Senator. What the hell is her name?
I forgot.
She's senator. For the UN, and with the UN.
So they arrested Magneto. They arrested Magneto because, he had crimes against humanity. So they took him to trial, and within that trial, there were humans that were angry about that. Like, why are you giving this guy a trial? Like, after all he's been through. And so during the speech, during the trial, Magneto being the man always, doing some great speeches. Also, I forgot to say that. When people didn't know about this, I'm sure you guys already knew about this too. In that, and before the trial, before Magneto was arrested, everyone's saying, we probably should give him a chance. Rogue, was like, told Magneto, was like, the X-Men, before I came here, they I had to earn their trust because people didn't know Rogue was with the Brotherhood before, she was an X-Men. She stole Miss Marvel's powers. So, they had summary. What's up?
I said, oh yeah, he stole the shit out of the house.
Yeah, it was just really so shit ever. And so, when it was saying, how do you think they would feel if they know about us? She's like, no. We ain't gonna talk about all that. That's gonna go to our graves right there. F all that. We ain't talking about that. Hell no. Hell no. She's like, no. I got a man now.
That why you gotta bring my stuff in it?
Say what?
So they're like, why you gotta bring my information up? Well, I don't know that.
Yeah, I just want to
that's because he was back for more. That was wild to me, like that whole situation. Because isn't like Rogue, like what's her age supposed to be in this? Like Magneto got to be up there at this point.
We're talking about another Dre and Jalen Green situation right now. We talk about some Drake and some young girl situation. Right
like she should be at this, because right then, like to be honest, that this means that 96 it started in 92, so I would say Jubilee's like 20, so she has to be at least 23, 24, because they were young when they first got there.
Yeah, they were.
So like
that, to me, that whole relationship is, I don't know,
sugar daddy stuff.
Which one?
Magneto and Rogue.
Well, they got a relation. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, that's episode 2. That's episode 2 you didn't watch because like Magneto was saying, "How
Hold
do you feel?"
My boy, bro, Remy. So you talking about my Remy the Blue is fucking? Nah, man. Shut, man. Let me go talk. Who wrote this shit?
You see this shit?
That's it right there. Yeah, that's one part. Yeah. It was like, how would you feel if they knew about us back then? She was like, no. We ain't bringing that up. That's going to the grave right there. Hell no. And I'm just sitting like, yo, what?
Oh, you didn't say that because remember she was there with like her, like in her mind, what is her name? The blue bitch. What's the fuck is her? Mystique is like her foster mom. So in her mind, remember, her and Mystique and Magneto are like
family.
So you would assume they had a relationship and that she wanted to keep that to the grave, but
yeah,
don't make it sexual. That's how they fucked up the Batman shit when they had
she took the glove off, and then like she was able to touch Magneto's hand because he can control it.
Huh?
Yeah, in the second episode, they have an intimate moment. She takes her glove off, and then like he's able to like touch her hand. So like that intimacy level that she can't do with Gambit, because they have a moment like that in the club, and like Gambit, obviously he's smooth with words.
Gambit don't care, man. Gambit was really risked it all when Murph was out there. He turned into bro. My man was like, "Yo, I will die for that piece of that ass."
He will. I respect the man. Like I know the X-Men. I do feel bad for Rogue's powers. I really, really do.
Bodysuit on, baby. I got you, baby. I'll put one on too, baby.
It's good for it's kind of savage though, because like she's a lot of people, Rogue is like their favorite, like as far as like baddies or like Skylock, right? But then it's like you can't even touch her though, right? So it's like
we give everybody they'll make her even want her even more because you can't actually partake into
anything.
Yeah. So
it's like hey,
unless life is not important to you.
It's like yo, how'd you die? Man, Rogue, bro. I died trying. It was worth it.
Sweet piece of Rogue.
Yeah, I mean, I can't move my body right now, but it was worth it. Know what I mean? I was born by the you know what. I will die by the you know what.
But I don't know. I just felt like this episode though, like episode 2 is like.
So I think it was better.
Moments with Magneto, like it's like
what's up, Reese?
Oh no, I wanted him to finish because I was going to ask him. I said, "So do you think it was better than 1?"
Yes,
it was more deeper, a lot more deeper. Like here's the thing too. While he was in trial, let's say you had the people that were angry. Magneto was getting a speech saying that trying to kill us, extermination, yada yada. But the people were pissed that said the UN was giving Magneto a trial, right? So then eventually they came charging into the bill, which gave you a reminder of January on a certain day. Yeah, the FOH people, but it also reminded you of something that happened at the Capitol a couple years ago. I'm not getting all that, but like it definitely shows some reminiscence on that. And Magneto was saying, people were saying they want the judge too. It's like, why do they want it? Because you turn your back on your own kind. Oh, the irony right now, when you play by the rules, you see what happens. You see what happens. So I love how he was like, I'm over this shit right now. Go ahead. You know, I'm trying to tell y'all, but here it is. But you know, the guy from the first episode though, he made it something execution because he got like, you know, some. He looked pretty badass too, by the way. You know, got some weapons.
Executioner.
Executioner, yeah. He had some armor, some weapons, you know, where you know the mutants can use their powers. And he was giving it to them. He was giving them that work until towards the end.
That annoyed me a little bit.
That annoyed me too, but I thought
they
it was pretty cool to
fight with their powers. They don't know how to fight without them.
But they
Like,
had
I live my whole life without powers. You live
powers them that took away their powers. But like he was able to get close enough and to be able to fight them in a combat and be able to win. It was like he was dismantling them like by himself, and it was weird.
It was weird, but it was cool to see Morph turn into Lady Deathstrike, then Colossus, then Psylocke. I thought that was pretty cool. He turned into 3 different people, but like still though, like he was beating the hell out of Cyclops. I'm like, God damn, bro, like that. Yeah, that part pissed me off too. I'm like, yo, you mean this little boy right now? It's like, you know,
okay, I'm about to look at that because Cyclops got hands, bro. Like a lot of people,
like he threw his staff at his face, knocked off his glasses, and then it was like Cyclops could do nothing with him. It was weird, but like that's why I like Morph being in this like series now, like more like he's a main character, because now they can touch base on like a lot of other characters that they might not give a big role in this show with, but they can like, introduce them like, oh, that's, you know, such and such. Oh, that's, you know, just like with Skylock. Like that was like cool that they did the different fighting styles between all the different characters that he morphed into in that amount of time, you know.
Mm-hmm. But the big now also too, they just showed the other Easter egg. There's a moment between Jean Grey and Storm, and you see Jean Grey. She had Reese, you remember this because I remember the outfit, but I forget what she is. She was holding her little green outfit, her little green skirt one. What was that from again?
That's Miss Marvel. She was Marvel Girl.
With the yellow mask.
Yeah, it's her original costume.
Yeah, they showed that. She's all, I remember this when it was a long time ago, and it was Dark Days and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty cool. But Jean Grey and Storm had a moment where Jean was like, "Why was if you know, my kid's a mutant? How I gotta tell him how the world's gonna see him? It's gonna see view of them every day." And Storm was like, "Oh, you wish your kid was a human?" And she's like, "You know, possibly. I haven't thought about that, but you know, it's possible for my kid to be human." Yeah, I understand the third, but the biggest part of this episode was the executioner gets into like the room and he shoots this blast and it hits Storm.
Mm-hmm.
And Storm loses her powers.
Mm-hmm.
And the hurt.
So it's a concentrated blast. So the actual thing that they put on the neck to take away their powers, he creates this gun in which it has a concentrated dose of whatever it is that takes away their powers. And it was in his gun, and he was aiming in at Magneto when they stormed inside of like whatever trial. And then as he was like about to shoot Magneto, Storm got in the way.
Why?
And then so all of her powers. So that scene to me was like super dramatic because
she didn't know what to do. She was crying,
like losing her powers, and the way that she was crying, and like the way she couldn't feel the air, she couldn't feel. It made you like be like, wow, like, you know, in the sense of like having your powers compared to not. Like,
because she did say earlier that I always thought about, you know, what it's like to be human, but when I got these gifts, it meant the world to me. Yeah, I understand the third, but like you were saying, I'm sort of cut you up. I just want to say that though.
Yeah, I mean that's that scene when she's sitting down talking to Jean Grey about like her kid.
Oh, it was foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's like foreshadowing that, but then also to me, it's like it was kind of another real situation where you're like, you know, how do I raise my child in this society? Like I'm scared to have a child You
But I
know,
got my kids in this goddamn society, and these motherfuckers, this whole society scares me.
but that's what I mean though. Like it is relatable where people that are nervous of like how to teach a child to grow up in today's society and to protect them. And then it's almost like I wish that she would be born human, just so that she doesn't have to face that kind of or him or her doesn't have to face that scrutiny.
That's the reason why we say that X-Men is the shit.
But
Because
Arami, he's speeding past it. And he's like, I don't want to talk about like that. This episode wasn't supposed to portray something, but it did. It was supposed to portray.
and that's why the X-Men resonated. That my mom sat down and watched it with us. That's not something that usually happens. You know,
By the way, they had the kid. Jean had the baby in episode 2. Wilder found executioner too. Like they had Wolverine was back at the house, and Jean was like, "The baby's coming." No. Jean was like, "Oh, he's here." Wolverine's like, "Who? Apocalypse?" She's like, "The baby, you idiot!" And Wolverine's like, "Oh shit."
Yo, no. So you gotta watch the episode to see the reaction because it was so spot on with Wolverine. Just completely clueless about like a real life situation. But he's like, "Who's here? Apocalypse?" And he's like ready to go. Like it was such a good moment. And then the panic of Wolverine not knowing what to do to get her to the hospital. And Jean like going through contractions as he's driving and like ripping the roof off. Dude, like I'm like, yo, this is like right on point, like with everything that they're doing in this like scene to make it, like you said, relatable of like a situation. But now they have powers, and this person is psychotic that he's thinking that he's about to go to war.
And then I get to the hospital. I was like, "Oh, we don't do mutants over here. We don't deliver baby mutants." And she was like, "What the fuck?" So they had to get a road to zap his medical abilities to deliver the baby.
Yeah, so he's skipping over that scene too because the doctor says, "I'm not going to deliver a mutant baby," so he's denying.
you gotta so Rogue went and he took this man's memory and delivered the baby.
Yeah. So that was like pretty cool to see like that she used those powers. Now the thing that was like really weird was the fact that Cyclops was over there controlling the whole storming of the Capitol, or I mean the trial room. And so all of a sudden, like he's fighting the executioner, and then next thing you know, he's holding Jean Grey's hand, like as she's giving the birth to the child.
So you'll be all right.
So I'm like, how did he get his ass whooped just 2 seconds ago, and now he over here holding her hand?
So what happened to that?
I originally thought that he was gonna miss the birth of the baby. That's what it looked like. So I'm like, there's no way he's making it in time because he's fighting right now. I was like, no. Baby said like, "Oh, see, Cyclops, what the fuck we find over here? Like, what? You just gonna leave like that? We're in the middle of a fight. You're just gonna leave?"
There was so much that happened.
What?
And so Magneto gets pissed off, obviously, like because Storm gets hit by a blast because they penetrated. So the fact that they showed that scene where Magneto and Storm both team up together, stop that group from invading like the area, right? And they show like Storm's powers, which was pretty dope the way they showed it.
Storm and Magneto together.
The blast, and then Magneto gets pissed off, and then he pretty much like throws the guy around like a rag doll. Now, what I would say, like Magneto in this episode is kind of bipolar because he goes in between that he just wants to end them. Like he's like, "See, this is the problem with y'all, and this is why I can't stand your society."
I pissed off Magneto
like this. And they brought that old school Magneto
in two different places.
Yeah, and so he's like, "I'm trying to be on a good path here, but now you done fucked up because I got a lot of respect for this Omega that you just shot down." Mm-hmm. And now this is all your fault because you put a monster on trial. Your people turned against you. And now one of my people has to suffer. Right.
It's crazy because he constantly gets proven right.
He does. Remember, he takes it to the sky too,
he went to planet
space. He went to space.
And y'all got mad and chased me. Y'all wanted me to leave. I left. And then y'all still found a way to fucking follow me. Like, the fuck did you want?
Yeah, it's like you're gonna be held accountable for everything that you've done, right? And it's like we got to show our power in all of this and control you. And then he's like, at the end of the day, like, you're not going to control Magneto. The only way you can control him is if he gives himself away freely, which he does.
I mean,
and then once you get in a situation where you piss him off, now he's showing you his full extent of his power, that I could take you up into outer space whenever I want to, and I could drop you.
man,
Like, you don't know who you're fucking with right now. Like, do you really piss me off right now?
of the whole world, if you wanted to, and in the whole world, leave that man alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He
it's
literally
weird
just said to the guy,
yeah.
he said to the guy, I could squash you right now. I would kill all right now, but for as a respect for Charles, I'm going to do the right thing. But do not. But in other words, he's saying, don't fuck this up again, or it's gonna, or you know what's gonna happen. Like, I did something up on the warden right now, and I respect that, man. But part of it's like, just kill the executioner. He caused all this shit. Just kill the executioner. Just kill him right there.
I mean, Magneto in this whole entire episode, like, says a lot, and he says things that are, you know, things that need to be said. Like, you know, in the sense of, what must we do to be good enough?
Exactly.
Right? And then when that happens, a storm, he's like, well, never again, right? So he's like conflicted. He's like, what must we do to be good? Like, for me to show you that, like, we just want to be unified and just live in peace. But then this happens, and now he's like, all right, I tried it, but never again. And then he takes him to space, and then he gives him another speech where he's like, I'm going to be better, and I'm going to show you that, like, I'm not going to use force. And then that's where they get the agreement, and then now they're like, okay, we're going to give you a shot to change.
This is one of the reasons why the X-Men are so well. And they seem, from what y'all said about the second episode, to have the spirit and the understanding of this series is being put into the new series, the 97. So y'all now taking, you know how you said, like, yo, were you worried about this? I am a little worried, but now I'm not, because the fact is they still have the strong sayings that they've had every single episode.
Memorable quotes.
Does not go, it goes past the kids. You're in tune to see it. Just like I said about I'd rather live on my on my feet than die. Like, I'd rather die on my feet than live on my knees.
Yeah.
Like, that was in a cartoon about, and then for him to say this isn't a cartoon about mutants, like, it's supposed to be an action pack, like, just for kids, and they have such strong moral values and strong things for adults, and what the time of life we live in. It just shows that they are holding this with, I won't say with kid goals, but they know what they have in front of them.
No, they do.
They're not going to mess this up.
They do, and they're making it a part of this time period.
Director.
Mm.
Awkward, but
yeah, awkward.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, they're making it part of, like, this time period too.
Yeah,
because even in this new one, like, they touch upon that people are more sympathetic to mutants now because Professor X was killed. So, like, now you got this time period now where, like, everybody that's not a mutant or humans are not, like, scared or fearful of mutants, but they're like, we just want them to be treated okay. So it's like there is a mutualness in that now, but there are still those groups that are like, no, we don't want them here, because all they're going to do is make us feel inferior, and they're going to one day
replace it,
overtake us, and we're not going to be able to do anything about it. And
it's just crazy, because that's a valid point from both sides, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, when you feel threatened, you do have that understanding in your mind, and it's good to have that. I like the fact that that Disney is willing to have that dialogue through a cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
But I always give the X-Men credit, because you say to yourself, like, how long do we have to be to be good enough? But it's like, how long can you just keep on fighting? It seems like it's a never-ending fight. It's a never-ending fight for the X-Men. But it's like,
ain't that life?
That's life.
Life is one big battle. It don't ever end. You die. Guess who take up who goes and takes up the shield and sword? Your kids, or somebody else in your life that you walk that line with.
Yeah. So right after that, right after that scene, we get back to, like, the X-Men, Magneto and Rogue, get it on. Well, I don't know if we don't see really good habits, but Magneto. I mean, Gambit. Gambit sees what happened, and Gambit was pissed off.
You see this shit?
You see this shit? Ain't no kid cartoon no more, so it's just people getting it. So he
Well,
won't.
they don't show what
They don't
happens.
show,
But like
they
she
get like-
goes in there late at night, and then she leaves out of room like she's doing the, walk of shame almost.
Yeah.
So she out there again. So he was out there moving mountains with the. That's crazy.
But the thing about it is, like, we don't know. We're just speculating.
Yeah,
So
we
I
don't
like
know.
that
We don't know.
because they are showing in a perspective. Like, if we were Gambit and we saw her coming out of that room, we'd be like, "Yo, what's going on?" Right?
But at the same time, though, this is why I feel bad for I love the actor, but I do feel bad for her. It's like she can't do anyone that can touch her, but Magneto does, and it's like, wow, I don't have this feeling. So it's like I feel bad for Remy. I feel bad for my guy Gan. I really do, but it's like, damn, what you can't. Even though he's willing to die for it, he's been telling that to Ro every single time. He's willing to die for it.
He said,
But Magneto, it's like, I can't hurt Magneto.
No. Yeah.
I can't hurt Magneto.
You better hit her with the Orlando Brown, bro. You better hit her with that.
Oh,
but they also too. I like how they're building this hatred though between Gambit and Magneto. Like Gambit has like a lot of lines in there where he's showing that like I don't really like you. Like it should have been you that got hit with that blast.
Yes, that's exactly. He did say he was aiming for you.
Yeah,
he's aiming for you. And which, by the way, Beast tells Storm that blast is permanent.
Yeah.
For all we know. He says it's permanent, but I'm sure they'll work it out. But Storm leaves the team.
That's what I'm saying. There's no way that they could do that to us as a viewer to take away Storm with all the type of powers that she has, to be like this goddess, sounding like King Ramonda. Like, it's like you can't take away that character. That character has to, be around.
Right. They probably would, but she got to be able to fight. She's strong. I mean, we need the princess of Wakanda, the queen of Wakanda, which she ends up getting. Like, we need her to be known, bro. We need the queen of Wakanda to have her powers.
That's what I'm saying. She got on a bus.
She got on a bus and left them know and everything. She's gone.
Left the team.
All right.
So
storyline. I don't think that's happening, but I can't wait to see what happens.
But at the end of the episode, we see another Jean Grey that says, "I need the X-Men." You see the other Jean. You see the Jean Grey in the house, look pissed off.
No, surprised.
So again,
but she saw the anger shit, but she had the anger on her face though.
So again, brother.
Bree's going to get off right now. He's about to get off.
No, sir. All I'm going to say is the Dark Phoenix. That's all I want to say. All I have to say.
I like the fact they had the dream where she goes into what was it? It was Gyrick's mind.
Yeah, Gyrick's mind. Yeah,
the baby, and then she sees all these tombstones, and then. Wasn't it like a sentinel though? That was like
it was master mode. Like that was pretty like it was Master. Yeah, Bribbage had like the death face pretty much, the Grim Reaper.
They don't say though that if it's the Phoenix or not though, but the fact that
it just had to do with the what I was saying. It's
the Dark Phoenix. There's some things in store.
It's about to pop off, man. That's dope. I like that they did that.
And that was a good arc too. In the original, that was a very good arc too. The Phoenix, like I love Phoenix. I love the Phoenix. So I mean,
oh yeah,
it's gonna be good. But how about the credits scene too? The credits looks like you like play like a video game or some fighting game. It looks like
that's how it was. That's how it was back in the day.
That was the old school.
That's how it was. Sometimes they didn't show it because they just went to like. Thanks for watching, Fox Kids and shit like that. and you didn't really get to watch it. Or most people was just like, "Oh, the shit's off," and they just change it. They see the Saban logo come up, and they just change it.
Yeah.
But then the thing that they're doing different now too, and I'm wondering if they're gonna do that every episode. The intro, they changed the intro.
They did.
Huh?
For episode 2,
So
they
it's
changed the
still
intro.
the same. It's still the same themes, but you see a little bit of different
They add
like
stuff.
scenes. You see a little bit of different scenes in there.
So the episode 2, you're gonna see when the intro comes on. Now they show Magneto. Like
But there are
as
some
the intro, like how they
there
show
are some
Wolverine
other
and everybody.
things in that intro. So not just Magneto. There are some other sequences in that. So it's not just Magneto.
I think they should have kept it, but hey, it is what it is. It's not though.
Yeah.
But
But
I definitely
what I'm saying is like it seems like it's like a cool direction they're trying to do. Like it's like The Simpsons almost. Like
Where they're updating the opening, the intro as with the story.
yeah.
which is pretty cool. With the same music, with everything still aligned, but it's like they throw in like before they come to and collide.
Little Easter eggs before
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But so far, I mean, these are two good first episodes. Now, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Because I remember seeing the first episode of Miss Marvel. I liked it. But the rest of the episodes, I'm just like, okay, what am I watching right now? So I'm just hoping that these. Now, I'm not saying every episode has to be like perfection. It has to be great, but like I don't want us to get two good episodes and the rest of the episodes are gonna be like, okay, booty juice at the end of the day. I want episodes to be good. Like I want every episode to be good. I really do, because I really care about the X-Men. I really want, I really want the Fox. What's up?
So we're gonna have some bad episodes. That's it. Like
We probably are. We probably are, and I expect it. But like, I don't want to see more bad and good. But I'm telling you, when we get that one bad episode, the people are gonna be like, "See, I told you right there. This dude ain't gonna be shit. It's too woke. It ain't shit. Marvel ain't shit." Like they haven't had that one episode. They're gonna be like, "See, I told you." On the surface, be like, "Told you, X-Men ain't shit. Told you, what the fuck is that?"
But that's what the because they're a bunch of jerks, bro. They just wait for somebody to fail so they can shit on you instead of the greatness of what you win.
Yeah, I don't like that whole like narrative that like it's too woke and all this. I don't know if it's gonna do that, but I like they do the subtle. It's subtle.
This is subtle wokeness. This is not in your face about it, but that's what. Like the X-Men was always that from the beginning of time. Like if you watch the X-Men,
that's what I'm saying. They'll know their history.
It's been the same way. So that's why I don't think it's going to protest to that. Like, because if you watch the X-Men 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it's the same exact thing.
It's the same exact thing. But it's like the new thing to say. And in this generation now, it's like, oh, you're saying it, then I'm going to say it. Oh, you're saying it too, I'm going to say it. It's a trend. It's like, let's say whatever else to say, but without doing their facts, without doing their reading, without their watching the show. Like, it's just a common thing that people are going to be doing.
Yeah, but I feel as though they're mixing in like the humor and like the realness of the show in a good way. Just by its first two episodes, like they show the really intense moments, but then they also have the lighter moments, like you said, when we're laughing about Wolverine, in the Jean Grey situation, when we're laughing at Wolverine when they're on the plane, and then he's like pretty much calling Cyclops like a jerk off, like what I mean? It's like,
jeez, Dad, what can we do without you?
Yeah, or Morph throwing a bag of chips at Wolverine's head, and turning into Sabretooth.
But I think it just makes it so much better. It shows how much of a family they are.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What you would do with your brothers and your sisters, your cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the real. That's the real superhero family right there. You really would be real about it. That's
what I'm curious about is like what they do with Bishop though, because Bishop right now is a little dull right now for me. Like
he's not from there. He's from the future.
Yeah, but like his lines right now were a little like,
Yeah, he only been back for 2 years.
Yeah.
I almost forgot about Bishop. I just think about it. But he said, I've seen a lot of futures, but my leading the X-Men, I ain't see all this.
Yeah, I thought that shit was like I said, I think they should have just he don't need to be an X-Men. Like his storyline is in the future. He just come back to make sure some shit don't happen.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. But also, speaking of the future, they called their son Nathan, so we all know who that is. We all know who that is.
Spill
So,
it.
oh, that's Cable.
Hmm.
You know that, Anthony?
Well,
Yeah, yeah, Cable.
Is it?
What's up?
Is it?
We're gonna find out. But like, no, Cable is like he's the adoptive son, right? Not the actual son, but the adoptive son.
There's, I don't want to ruin it, so I'll let you go.
See,
I don't want to ruin it.
too many spoilers there. Mm-hmm.
I'm not spoiling it for it. I just know Cable.
But
I just know Cable.
I know where we're going. I love the ride.
Yeah.
But all right, but here's the thing. Here's what you gotta do. You gotta watch episode 2 and then message me your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Once you watch episode 2, you'll be like, wow, like the way they do it is pretty good.
I do like it sounds like it's an amazing ride.
Yeah.
It is.
And the thing that stuck out to me too, I'm sorry to cut you out. The thing that stuck out to me too was the fact that when Cyclops says my X-Men, and then Magneto gets there and he says my X-Men.
It's going to be a power struggle.
Oh, there is. There is.
Yeah. So that's like it stuck out to me though, because it's like this need to say like it's like this is my team. Or, and I think Magneto getting there and kind of showing that like he is trying to be better.
I mean,
there's something a little weird. There's something weird about it.
Because they have a lot of history, and they have a lot of history, and they have a lot.
There's something here for him. He came in out of the goodness of his heart. There's something that he wants.
That's
no. I mean, in this storyline, it might be, but he does lead the X-Men. Like
he does. He does. Yeah.
He genuinely does. Like there's a time where he leads the X-Men with Emma Frost. Like there's time. Yeah. So to be honest, I'm just bringing that up, not to say, but this storyline has me wondering, and I want to see where they go with it. So I like it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think this can be the push that Marvel needs right now.
They need it because they've been sucking, and I've been clamoring that for the last 2 years that they got too big for their britches, and nobody want to say it. But now they seen it on the wall. So
yeah.
To me, they did a good job with Echo. I don't think that got as much publicity as it should have got.
You really think Echo did well when this chick beat the Kingpin, who be putting people through walls? I watched the Kingpins cut somebody's head off with a door.
Yeah.
And a 14-year-old girl with a deaf 14-year-old girl was putting boots to him.
That loved him. That loved her though.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I got a little reservations on that though.
I get what you're saying though. Yeah.
Hey! I thought it was actually pretty good.
Hawkeye vibes. That's the only thing, bro. Yeah, Hawkeye. Good old Hawkeye. She. Yeah. We're not even gonna go. Hey, we moving forward.
Yeah.
We're moving forward. Well, I said no.
X-Men 97.
That was not bad. Yeah, X-Men 97. Then we got Deadpool. We got Deadpool.
Direction. We're not even gonna call this. We're gonna say phase 3, because that whatever the fuck they want, this new iteration look like it's going off with a good bang.
Yeah.
That'll be very funny if X-Men is the show that brings back Marvel to its glory days right there. Like all of Fox's characters was like, yeah, get out. We're the OGs, all right? We're the reason why Marvel is popular. Remember, for all my fighting game fans out there, remember the first series.
Thanos, you did all this to come back to me.
Wait, I'll be right back, fellas. I'll be right back.
All right. That's good. That's a good one right there. I like that. So looking back to me. But remember, the X-Men, that was the start of the first series. Where X-Men Children of the Atom, the Marvel superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Remember,
yes,
X-Men started the first series. I'm just telling y'all right now. That right now.
The Atom was that work, bro. And guess who's the big bad in that joint? Magnus.
Yeah, that motherfucker was cheap as hell.
Yeah, he definitely was.
I recorded that. That shit took me a half hour, at least just to win.
So
That shit was annoying.
I have the arcade one up with all of those games on it.
Yeah, well, I got 5K. So that's why I get that whole lot of shit. But I would really love that one up though.
But
Like
I'm talking about, I
just to
got
have
the.
that.
We be upstairs playing it like
No, I would want that shit, bro. I would really love to get another Marvel's Capcom game, but that ain't happened because of Marvel, because of Disney, which that's another story for the day right there. But
Infinite didn't do too
right
well.
now, what's up?
I said that's why Infinite didn't do too well.
Yeah, I don't remember about Infinite. That game was already dead before it even came out.
Yeah, they had too many stipulations they wanted with it.
No one know who the X-Men are. But yeah, that's a different story for a different day. But I think right now we're off to a good start with X-Men 97. We're off to a good start. We'll see how the rest of the season goes, but after this podcast, Reese, watch episode 2. Let us know what you think, and then you'll be like, "Oh shit, yeah, we got something right here, guys."
Episode 3. Invite me for episode 3.
No, I'm not inviting you at all. I'm not inviting you at episode 3. Why would I invite you? Why would I invite you? All right, I know I got you. I'm getting invited to all see people for episode 3, obviously. Like,
well, let's give them their flowers right now. Marvel and Disney have done a good job with bringing this back, because honestly, I was nervous because of all the talks about them making like a real movie of like Gambit and the resurgence of like X-Men, like, you know how they did back in the day with Hugh Jackman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, that is so difficult after the trash that they did make. I guess everybody loved First Class, obviously, but
Class is good.
yeah, but it's like one of those things where like they just never could get it right. And I'm like, with this, it's like, yes, just stick to your guns. Like, this animated series of X-Men was the bread and butter. Like, I don't think that there's somebody that's going to portray Gambit or portray some of these characters in real life like the way that we want to see them, right? And so, like, right now with Deadpool, that's crushing it in, you know, with Ryan Reynolds, like, let that be what it is, and like we'll see what happens with Hugh Jackman coming in as Wolverine with this movie, because it looks like it's going to be pretty good. But I commend them for bringing this show back, just to get everybody back in tune, just in case they try to, you know, kind of make something along, you know, in the future, basically.
Just how Rich is an OG, the X-Men, we're the OGs of this superhero shit. We're the OGs of this shit. Don't forget about us. And I'm happy to see, you know, kids now see like where this all came from, like the ancestors. Let's call X-Men 90s the ancestors of the group right there. So like you see what we watch. Like Reese, like I said, what Reese said earlier, he had his kids watch the original show.
I didn't make him. He just I walked in the room. He's like, I'm watching this X-Men cartoon. He's like, it's so hot. I was like, Daddy used to watch that when he was growing up. And we made it. It came back to saying like, yo, we gonna watch it, and we sat and watched it all the time together. And now when I was watching it, I put it on. He's like, is that the X-Men? I was like, yeah, it's a new episode. He sat right down with me and we watched it together.
Yeah.
And he's 7. He's 8 now. So.
You gotta start him right. Gotta start him young. But no, this was a good discussion right there. Like I'm happy we got to do this shit, because, you know, X-Men, like, this was a must. Like, this was a must, and we'll see episode 3 does. But like I said, I'm confident it'll do well. I'm confident this whole series will do well. They're doing 10 episodes, right? They said 10.
I know it's. I saw at least 6 or 7 or 8, because there's one episode. There's a part 1 and a part 2 that is broken up in between another episode when they showed the listing. So I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say it's over 10. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, man, because they're like, what, 30-minute episodes?
Yeah.
But not just make no 10.
It's supposed to be. It ends in May. The last episode in May something, because they already had like the dates. They already have the dates of when each episode's going to air.
Coming out. I'll check it out and see when. I'm not sure when.
That's super wild. Like, what, the episodes back in the day, what was like, seasons were like, what, 20 30 episodes?
Like 20.
21, 2 episodes.
Yeah. They were putting out heat back in the day.
Dude, 20 episodes. So this will be great, but in this generation now, that probably ain't gonna happen.
They ain't. The generation don't have the attention span for it.
That's true.
They really don't.
People gonna be like, "Oh my god."
They really don't. But yeah, folks. So before we head up out of here, you guys want to say any like last words before we head up out of here?
X-Men 97, go watch it. Basically,
What's you on that? It's good.
Because honestly, I want to promote it as much as possible because it's like one of those things where people don't watch shows that are actually good, and then they say, "Okay, we're nixing this. We're not making anymore." So it's like you got to encourage people to watch X-Men 97, which will get people to watch the old X-Men, and then we could start rebuilding this narrative of X-Men the way they were supposed to be.
Now I'm happy to see more cosplay X-Men now. I mean, we already seen X-Men cosplays before, but I think now with the show I feel as though we'll see even more of that, honestly. So X-Men are back, folks. Like I said, the ancestors, they're back. Like I said, we're shit. Like, you see this here? They started this shit. Tell you right now, they started this shit. They're the reason why I love superheroes. So please watch X-Men 97. I'm begging y'all, please watch this. Please. For all my good people out there. But so this is going to be it for tonight's podcast right there. We do appreciate you guys watching this. Be sure to like the video. It helps the channel out. Subscribe. You want to be part of Knuckles family. I'm going to put, our social media accounts in the description box below. So be sure to follow us right there on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. On my Twitch as well. We'll be back here next week. Now, we don't know which day. Like, days are going to be different, but we will try to do, like, every episode. So we'll let you know what day we decide upon. And, yeah, hopefully we'll get a bigger group in here to talk about this. So we'll make sure to talk to you guys soon. So, folks, everybody, y'all have a good night. Y'all be safe. We see you guys in the next video. And like our man J. Cole said, there's no such as a life better than yours. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.
All right.